Welcome to the second video of my OET preparation course, the course that I wished for when I was preparing for my OET exam. If you haven't watched the first video, click here or check playlist on my channel. In this video, I will teach you everything you need to score B or above in listening subtest of OET. I'll talk about exam layout, how to effectively answer part A, B, and C, practice questions for each part, and some of my own tips for exam. So watch this video till the end. Let's begin with the layout of OET subtest. It has three parts: part A from questions 1 to 24, part B from questions 25 to 30, and part C from 31 to 42. Altogether, there will be 42 questions and you have to answer them within 40 minutes. Now I'll talk about each part of the listening subtest. You can see part A, it has two extracts. Extract 1 with questions 1 to 12 and extract 2 from questions 13 to 24. So altogether, there will be 24 questions in part A. It's usually a recording between a healthcare professional and a patient. So here you can see patient and healthcare professional asking about the disease. And here you will have patient's symptoms, occupation, treatment, or anything else. In this part, you have to listen to the recording and fill in the blanks. The good thing about this part is the sequence of the options and the recording is same. For example, if something is played about pain location, it will be here, and then next one will be about the pain. It's not like you have to answer number 5 first and you go to number 2. There will be a sequence same as the options. Here, I would like to share 2 really important tips with you to score higher in the listening subtest. Number 1, try to guess the options because you will have 30 seconds before the audio begins. So during this time, you have to guess the options. For example, the back injury is due to lifting something, and the pain is located somewhere, maybe wrist or knee. And pain is described as what? You have to find all these informations from the audio, and so on. Number 2, don't stick to one option. For example, here, you didn't listen carefully or you missed it. Don't worry, just skip it and go to the next one because the audio will be played just once. So if you stick to this one, you'll also miss the next ones. So just skip it. If you think this video is helpful, please subscribe to my channel and give me a like. Thank you. Let's continue. In listening part B, you'll have 6 questions from question 25 to 30. Each question will have a different recording, a separate recording. It's not like the listening part with fill in the blanks. Here you have to choose the correct option. The recording will be about a conversation between a healthcare professional to another healthcare professional, or a healthcare professional and a patient or the patient's relatives. So in this part, you will have 15 seconds before the audio begins. During this time, you have to read all the options carefully. You have to be careful about 2 things. Number 1, try to understand who is talking to who, because here you can see the gender and she is going to talk. So the female voice that you will hear is going to be this nurse, because in audio they don't mention who is speaking to who. Number 2, try to eliminate the wrong ones, and the last one that will be left will be the right one. In part C, there will be questions from 31 to 42. There will be 2 extracts, and it can be a lecture or a presentation by a doctor. You have to listen and answer. You will be given 90 seconds to prepare before you listen to the audio. During this 90 seconds time, try to highlight the important keywords in the question, because in the audio, they will not tell you which question they're going to talk about. So you have to highlight and then go with the audio. It's really important that you go to the next question by yourself because audio will keep playing and you have to go to the next one. For example, here, if the person or the doctor is talking about something in the USA, you have to directly go to the next question. The same for extract 2 from questions 37 to 42 with 90 seconds to read the questions. Let's practice some official OET sample test. You will have 10 seconds to look at these blanks. Remember, try to guess the options, and don't worry if you miss it. Now listen carefully.
Come in. It's Mr. Sands, isn't it?
That's right, Ray Sands.
Now, I think you've been referred to me because you're suffering from sciatica.
That's right. Not for the first time, actually.
OK. Well, I've got some notes here, but perhaps you can tell me in your own words about any previous bouts of sciatica you've had, what treatment you had, what worked for you, anything else you can remember.
Righto. Well, it all started when I hurt my back. About 18 months ago now.
OK.
I was giving somebody a hand with a heavy suitcase and I felt it go, just like that. Anyway, I slowly got over that, despite occasional flare-ups, and then, out the blue, about a year ago, sciatica developed. And it was 6 months till that finally cleared up altogether. Now it's come back in the last month or so, I'd say.
I see. And your GP said it was sciatica?
Yeah, I had this pain all the way down my right leg, and she said the real problem was in my back because the sciatic nerve was getting trapped.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, this was no ordinary pain. It was really intense. I mean, to the extent that I couldn't stand for very long, couldn't walk hardly any distance, I couldn't sleep.
Oh.
I mean, the most frustrating bit for me was that I couldn't even turn over in bed. It just hurt so much. I just couldn't get comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'd have, a sort of tingling feeling in my calves as well.
Right.
But then at other times, my whole leg just felt a bit numb, really. It was weird.
Now let's check out the answers. Number 1, back injury sustained lifting a heavy suitcase. Pain located in his right leg or right leg. Pain described as intense. Mentions inability to turn over in bed and tingling sensations. If you've done all these right, then congratulations. Now let's move on to the part B. Here you will have 15 seconds to look at the question and the options. Remember, try to guess who is talking to who. Number 2, eliminate the wrong ones. Now you have 15 seconds to look at the question.
Mrs. Green was admitted last night for pneumonia. She came in yesterday with a cough, fever, dizziness and chest discomfort. She's a healthy 60-year-old with a history of right knee replacement 5 years ago. She's on a regular diet and has no allergies. She's at high risk for falls due to her dizziness. We changed her IV antibiotics to oral, which she's tolerating well. Her assessment is within normal limits, except for some mild shortness of breath and wheezing. Her vital signs are stable, oxygen saturation is 98% on 1 litre, and she's been comfortable during my shift. Around 5:30, I gave her 2 paracetamol for minor pain, with good results. She has an 18 gauge in her left arm. She's got normal saline at 15 mils per hour.
Okay.
Which option did you choose? A, B, or C? The right option is B. Now let's practice some questions from part C. Here, I'll give you 2 questions, 31 and 32. You have 10 seconds to look at the question and read the options.
Today we're talking to Dr. Jack Robson, a cardiologist and Chagas disease specialist in the USA. Dr. Robson, What is Chagas disease, and why is it referred to as a neglected disease?
Chagas is caused by a parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi. Most sufferers become infected when they're bitten by an insect, commonly known as the kissing bug, which carries the parasite.
Right.
People often don't realize they've been bitten, and during the initial phase of the infection, symptoms are normally mild or absent.
Okay.
70% of those infected never develop complications. For the other 30%, the disease tends to remain silent for a long time, often 30 years, but it eventually enters a chronic phase characterized by serious cardiac, digestive system, and neurological disorders. About 7 million people worldwide are thought to have Chagas, but it attracts relatively little publicity or funding for research. This indifference is largely down to it being primarily a disease of marginalized communities in Latin America, where it's endemic. You need resources to force significant action.
Right, I see. And are there any concerns in the USA about Chagas?
Yes, the insect carrying the parasite is actually endemic to the southern U.S. states. Since 1955, however, no more than 30 people have been bitten and infected while in the USA. The alarming thing, though, is that it's become apparent that large numbers of first-generation and some second-generation immigrants from Latin America carry Chagas, around 300,000.
Right.
These people won't infect others, apart from congenitally and possibly through blood transfusion, but a significant proportion end up chronically ill.
Now let's check out the answers. A is correct. B is correct. Don't worry if you couldn't follow the audio and you didn't choose the right answer. Simply go to OET.com, click on Ready, then Listening, and here you can find the text of the audio. Here you have the answer key. Click on Download, and then you can check the whole file with the transcript of audio. So listen again, look at this file, and try to answer again. Best of luck. I hope to see you in the next video about reading part. Goodbye.